Winter's coming. Hi, my name's Jen. Welcome to my channel, All My Plants. Winter is indeed coming. I was aware of it, but it kind of snuck up on me this year. We've had a few nights down in the 40s, so a lot of my outdoor plants have been coming in. I say outdoor, I have a greenhouse, and I don't heat it over winter, so I'm bringing that stuff in, slowly but surely. I've been repotting and doing that for about 4 days already, but I feel like I've done so much like plant chore heavy videos lately, so many. Mostly repotting because it's just that time of year things have grown and needed to be repotted before it's cold, which, I mean, I repot year round, but I try to do the majority of it while the weather is still nice. There's still some actual daylight for the plants to kind of grow and get settled into their pots. But in the interest of switching it up a little bit, I figured we'd just kind of look at what I've done, maybe do some updates, kind of meander around through the collection. I'm also setting up a third room that has, or will have, a bunch of plants in it. So I've definitely taken over the house with the plants. Whether or not I'll get to actually work on that in this video, I don't think I will. That'll probably be next video. I did figure I'd mention it because it'll be, once again, a different location than where I normally film. So, I guess we'll just jump in and start. This is the variegated Scindapsus jade, which did recently come in from outside. It was actually, was it 2 or 3 pots of this, I think? And what I did is I pulled the ones that were fully reverted out and potted the ones that were still variegated together. And I did not hose them off yet. I did water it. But yeah, because I wanted, you know, a mostly variegated pot at least. Not that you can see what I'm showing you. Yeah, so that's how that one ended up. I think it's in a slightly larger pot than it was. I think it was in a maybe 3-4 inch. And then this one here is probably closer to 6-inch pot. It's 5 point something. Why they couldn't make it a nice even 6, I don't know. Just to make me a liar when I say it's a 6-inch pot. That's why they did it. So some of them, I'm not sure that they will be variegated or will continue to be, because some of them I just cut back where it was reverted. So, you know, time will tell how this one ends up. And then this one here is also Scindapsus jade. It was 2 planters of it that I put together, plus some of the reverted ones from the other planter. And that's, you know, why this one has grown much more, I think, is because it was either reverted or it was purchased as a green one to begin with, pieces of them. I don't know. So, and I did pot that up quite a bit from a 4-inch because it was dry all the time. It had the roots for it. So far they seem to be doing pretty good, both pots of the Scindapsus jade, variegated or not, which is surprising because this one was so dry. I had it sitting on the desk for a few days and the cat kept laying on it. It's fine. She didn't hurt anything. Another one I recently repotted, which I think I said if I had to pick a plant that I didn't like in this room, it would probably be this one. It's Philodendron Paraiso Verde. Not terribly exciting. It's mostly Verde, not so Paraiso anymore. It's kind of got some mottling on it, I don't know. But I repotted this one because it had been desperate for it for quite a while. It was in a 3-inch, I guess, like a nursery pot, after quite a long time. It was very, very root bound, and it had root mealies. The reason I figured that out, it wasn't in a clear pot, it's always lived in soil, was this shelf behind me. I was, you know, kind of dusting off and moving plants around, watering things, and this shelf was covered in like a white residue. If I can find a clip, I don't know, I might have deleted it, I'll put it up here. But it was just like this white powdery residue. And it looked a lot like root mealies do when they're in semi-hydro, except for not floating in water. But yeah, so I was pretty sure somebody had an issue, and a lot of them were in clear pots already, so I could see that nothing was wrong with, you know, this plant or that plant. So this was the one I targeted, and this one had root mealies. Now, while I'm here talking about it, all of this had to be washed again, like wiped down. All the cover pots had to be washed. The plants got sprayed, like the leaves themselves got sprayed, and I put a little bit of systemic in all the soil because I don't want an infestation. So I'm just trying to nip it in the bud before it gets to the point where it's problematic. If this plant had died, I mean, I'm never trying to kill a plant, but it wouldn't have offended me that much, if you want the truth. So the other ones on there, I might be pretty upset. So yeah, I spent a day doing that. And some of them also got repotted anyway, and I think it was only on this shelf where this plant was living. I didn't see anything anywhere else. It's just my paranoia. So that's how I dealt with that. This is Dieffenbachia reflector. It actually didn't go outside this year because it was living in a cup of leca for the past probably, I'm gonna say maybe almost a year, if not a year. And I finally put it in a pot, in some soil. And so far it seems to be doing okay. So far, I can actually see a little bit of new root growth, and it's only been a couple days. I'm not gonna get too excited yet because sometimes I have a hard time taking things out of semi-hydro and getting them into soil. Not always, some stuff just, you know, is really gung-ho about it. I think this will be, but I don't know. I really do like this plant though. Not that anybody believed that after it sat around for a year in a cup of leca, but yeah, it's doing okay. Hopefully I'm getting it on track now because I think it was just really leggy, and that's why I cut it in the first place. And of course, since I've cut it, it's kind of gotten, I want to say leggy. It's not leggy, it's that the older leaves have died. So yeah, that's why I cut it in the first place. I think even if it does just have a ridiculous tuft on top, I don't think I'm going to cut it anymore. It's going to do what it's going to do, clearly. Sorry, you can hear my bird hollering. I've actually been trying not to use noise canceling because it makes me sound muffled. And I don't have AC or anything on today, so she's just hollering. She can hear me talking. This is Syngonium ormnak, O-R-M, separate word, N-A-K. I picked it up simply because it's red and it looked kind of like a caladium. Like when I walked by it at first, I was like, oh, that's a weird looking caladium. It's Syngonium. But, you know, I'm not a huge fan of, is that pink or is that red? Colors are not my strong suit. You'd be the judge of the color of that. But yeah, this is the slowest growing Syngonium ever. It's been outside all summer. And I would have thought it would have done something. I think it went out with 2 or 3 leaves. I don't think any died. And it only has a total of 5 leaves. It does have a 6th one coming though, now that I've repotted it. This is actually the 2nd time I've repotted it since I had it, so I don't know. Does anybody else have this or have any experience with it? Because she's slow. She's real slow. It's kind of cool though, I guess. It's a little bit different than most of the other Syngoniums I have, honestly. So, and this is another Syngonium. It says strawberry milk. Syngonium strawberry milk is what that tag says. I assume it's the correct tag. Yeah, this one here has grown much better. It grew much more outside than the previous. This one, it was still in the nursery pot, still in the same soil it came in, still had all of its little, it still has a bunch of them, I didn't pull them all off. Little tiny baby leaves. I don't know. So I did repot it. I would have expected it would grow more by now also, but that soil, I think it really was drying very quickly outside. So it was very chunky. I just made it maybe slightly less chunky. I just don't know if it was staying hydrated long enough to actually fully benefit from being watered and fertilized out there. I think maybe it'll do better in here. I don't know. I know that Ormnak did not like it in the house at all. I think I got it early this spring, potentially. Or maybe in the winter, and it hated everything. I hope I don't have that problem this year. Maybe where it's more established this year. Well, I guess it's not now because I repotted it. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I like this one. It's not the pink that I really like, but it's how the pink fades into the green when that starts to happen. That's what I like about this plant. A lot of the pink it kind of does remind me of strawberry milk. It's kind of like a white with a pink blush. I don't know. It's alright. It's alright. It's different. It's unhappy still, but someday it'll get happy maybe, if I'm lucky. This one here is the Philodendron Bob C that I cut up over the winter. This was actually the stump of it, and it reshot. What I did is I cut it and I pulled the stump up and put it in a much smaller pot because it had no foliage. I was hoping that it would dry fairly quickly. Put it out in the greenhouse and just let it fend for itself. I'm not going to say that was a terrible idea. However, when I pulled it in here, I was surprised that the pot was very, very wet. Very, very wet, because that generally doesn't happen outside. It had root rot. It didn't have hardly any root. That, and the roots were coming from the existing stump, which you probably can't see, but it's down in there. None of the there's 3 little plants that had sprouted from that stump. There's kind of one to this side, one to this side, and then a teeny tiny one yonder. But they have no roots of their own, so that's why I've got it in moss, because I'm trying to get the actual new plants to root. I don't want to leave them together, connected to a stump that is unwell forever. So hopefully we can get them growing their own roots. But yeah, the rest of this plant, which I don't think I've talked about in a while, is in this disgusting prop bin that is very green. Very green. And just full of springtails. So many springtails. There's also something else in here. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, blizzard? No, snowdrift. Philodendron snowdrift. That would be that one. This... What is this? I don't know, but it's variegated. There's a couple things in here that I'm not sure. They might be... there we go. Might be... Florida Beauty? I'm not sure. Not 100% sure, but wow, there are so many springtails. Like it's just crawling with them. I'll put them in the, when I finally get around to potting these up, I will just kind of set this whole container open, or maybe just put the gobs of moss in there in the terrarium and let them live. I don't know. There's a couple nodes down here that are just sitting there and haven't done anything. I don't know how long they've been in there. But yeah, I thought that the rest of the Bob C was in here, but I'm not seeing anything that I'm certain is Bob C, because it had a thick, very thick stem. Okay, so I guess I'm lying to you, unless I potted them up somewhere already. Memory is hard. This is the Scindapsus exotica. Well, it's mostly exotica. It's kind of a frankenpot, I guess. There's probably 2 different kinds in here, both of which look so similar I can't tell the difference. But one was exotica and the other was like silver splash, silver something. The heck was that thing called? Silver satin? I have no clue. I really don't. But this is it. These 2 leaves right here are that plant. It just has a sort of more pixelated silver marking on it. It's not as, and the leaves generally aren't as large as on the Scindapsus exotica. So, yeah, there's another leaf. Not looking so great. This one didn't take off quite as much. But anyway, it was 2 pots of it, and I cut both of those plants up, stuck them in 2 different pots. I didn't try to root them or anything, and threw them out in the greenhouse and figured they'd either root or they wouldn't. They were in 4-inch pots, and I just mashed them all together because I don't need 2 4-inch pots that are kind of sparse because some of the cuttings didn't take. I'd say a fair amount did though. For now, it's a nice full plant. Yeah, it's done well. I think this is an 8-inch planter, but yeah. And you'll notice it was in a hanging pot. They were both in hanging pots, I believe, originally. I don't have that much room to hang plants at this point. I just have so many hanging plants. So a lot of the ones that would normally be in a hanging planter are potted up in just regular pots that can stand on their own. When they get longer, generally I do have to put them in a heavier cover pot because they'll pull themselves off of shelves, and you know, wherever I've stuck, I'm looking at the mic and wondering if it's going to pull itself down. It is in a cover pot. But anyway, my brain's going too fast and I can't slow it down. It's doing good. It's doing good, and I'm kind of glad that I put it all in one pot. I've done a lot of combining of things. You know, if I have 3 Florida Beauties, I'm probably going to end up mashing them all together, which I don't think I do. I think I gave away the cuttings. Yeah, I gave away all the cuttings I had of the Philodendron Florida Beauty. And the mother plant's fine. I just repotted that somewhere too. I'll find that for you and we'll take a peek at that too. I think it needs a pole extension still, but yeah, this is doing good. This one here I did actually repot recently in a video. It's never been outside, but I'm just showing you the Anthurium forgetii. It's rooting like crazy, like crazy. A lot of those are new roots. It has roots down in the bottom again. This was a top cut, actually. So I'm surprised by how quickly that's rooted out. It's maybe been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, not very long. This is a leaf it's still kind of working on right now, currently. But yeah, that's good. That's real good. I like that a lot. It needs water. It needs water, as does just about everything in here. These plants right here, not all of them were outside. The Florida Ghost here was. Can you see that? Yeah. It was 2 pots. Once again, I smashed them together. It was 2 separate 4-inch pots. I think they're in the 7-inch. I'm guessing that's the 7-inch. And they're doing okay. They're doing okay. There's, I think, about 8 cuttings that were in there total. I guess they're 8 plants total now. The allies, that was outside. I say allies. Huernia zebrina variegated, and they're calling that type of variegation allies. It's pretty. I just topped that up with soil because, you know, it was running out. This was upstairs. I've just moved it down here. It's a Rhipsalis, is it Panderiform? What is it called? Pentaptera. Rhipsalis Pentaptera. It needed an up pot. It was drying quick. And then I put a bunch of Haworthia in here with one Euphorbia. I can't remember what kind of Euphorbia that is, I'm sorry. But I repotted that all together because the soil in each of those was drying quickly. And once again, instead of having 3 or 4 pots, I just condensed that a bit to 1 pot. The Anthurium, I guess this is Cobra is what it's called. It's like a bird's nest type Anthurium. That's doing pretty good. I didn't repot that one. It didn't need it. I might eventually go ahead and put it in a clear pot, but for now, it's fine where it is. I did repot this Aglaonema. Not that we're getting very good light here, so that you can see which Aglaonema I'm talking about. Can I block the light and maybe get it to focus? No. I don't know if that helps you to see the color of that plant or not. I don't know what the type of Aglaonema is, but I did repot it and into quite a bit larger pot. It was in a 4-inch maybe, but yeah, it's doing good. This philodendron is still sitting here in my kitchen sink, in fact. I didn't repot it or anything. I just like scrubbed it off because these have been known to be spider mitey and thrippy for me. And I always worry about that when I'm bringing plants in from the out. So everything's been to this sink here and sprayed down. Pastazanum silver is, I guess, who this is. I was pretty worried when I first got it and planted it into this trough planter because it was back here when I stuck it in here, and it's 2 here now. There are 3 different growth points on this guy. So they're doing pretty good. I can see where it got a little bit sunburnt. as the sun changed how it hits the greenhouse before I brought it in. But yeah, that's one of the newer leaves on it. Pretty. I like that it's maintaining a kind of short and compact appearance for now. I don't know if that will continue now that it's going to come inside and get significantly less light. One of these plants is trying to escape out of the pot. It's like growing over the edge on the back side there. But yeah, I'm not repotting that or doing anything to it other than, you know, keeping an eye on it for pests and whatnot. And this is the new room that I am absolutely taking over. This is the Philodendron Atabapoense here. It's been upstairs. I just moved it downstairs because it's getting beat up and kind of neglected up there. It's large and I kind of always find myself trying to stuff it into a corner, but it needs some TLC. It's downsizing very much now. It's off the top of the pole. Not that it ever grew into this moss pole, so I'm not sure why it makes a difference for this plant, but apparently it does. I'm probably going to cut it and propagate it. I don't know. I'm still undecided. Back behind it, here, that's the Philodendron bicolor that I still haven't done anything with. I was planning on propagating it, and I still am, but I happened to notice I picked it up the other day, and I haven't watered it since I got it, I don't know, over a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point. That is still really heavy, and the soil is kind of very dense. You can't even really jam a finger down in there to see what's going on. I'm gonna unpot it at the very least. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's making me nervous. It doesn't show any symptoms of being like overwatered or root rot, but it's so heavy, I assume there's got to be water still down in those roots somewhere. After 2 weeks, that's a little weird. Then this here, sitting behind it, that was outside. I'll bring this one closer because I can actually pick this one up still for now. Pardon this room, it really is still a work in progress. This is looking kind of crazy. It grew quite a bit this year, I'd say. I only got it earlier this year. It says Anthurium hookeri redbird. I have another Anthurium hookeri outside, and it is massive compared to this. Like, this leaf looks like a baby compared to the ones that are on that plant. Why did it grow like an elbow and bend over? Like, this is the leaf face underneath. This one here did the same thing. This one here just didn't really do well at all. The other ones are sticking up in the air. I'm confused as to how this plant has grown. That, and now that it's gotten a little bit more mature, it doesn't have that red color. Even in very high light, it was outside in the greenhouse. I don't have that sort of red color that the older leaves have, the more immature leaves, I guess. That, and it does have some green on green variegation, or it did. Maybe it was just sport. I don't know. But like, yeah, that red is gone. It's gone. Not on the fronts, not on the backs, not in the veining. But like, here's an older leaf. Can you see it there? It's mostly kind of got a little bit of red down that mid vein. Maybe you can spot it. I don't know. I'm struggling not to drop this plant on my toe. So yeah, I don't know. It did put out a couple of, even though it's pretty small, put out a couple of inflorescences. The massive one that's still outside the greenhouse waiting its turn to come in and, you know, have its spa day. That one kind of just flowered constantly. To my knowledge, it still has 4 or 5 inflows hanging off of it. So I don't know. I don't know. This Rhipsalis here, Rhipsalis grandiflora, it says. It really enjoyed its time outside. And it's so weird. Some of this plant is massively fuzzy, and others are just super smooth. I don't know if we're focusing. I hope we are. But either way, yeah, this plant really liked it outside. It was in a, like your traditional hook type hanging planter. This one here is wall mounted, and I'm gonna hang it right there. But anyway, like I said, hanging plants are just difficult for me to deal with, especially if they have to hang over like a bar or a hook or something like that. So, because I only have so many places from the ceiling to dangle things in this house, or curtain rods in many cases to hang plants on. So I'm hoping that by putting it in a hanger that I can, or a planter, that I can mount on the wall, I'll be making my life a little bit easier. I have a couple other Ripsalis and like a hurricane cactus in these planters. They've done me fairly well so far. None of them have done me dirty yet. So hopefully, same experience with this one. Because I love this. I love Ripsalis so much. I know I say that a lot, and I hardly ever seem to talk about them, other than saying that I love them, but they're just great plants. And over here with my air compressor, ooh, is the Philodendron Florida Beauty. After I cut it, this was the first leaf it gave me, which is all green, but it's gotten its life together now. It gave me one with sectoral variegation there. Still pretty, but you know, I prefer more of a marbling than sectoral. Got another leaf coming that looks really, really variegated. Like the whole thing might just be yellow. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, I did repot it. It was in a, I want to say a 4-inch. So I went straight to 7 because it had a bunch of roots hanging out of the bottom. The pole is still looking good. The roots in the pole are looking good. But because of where we are there, I think I'm going to need to add an extension, which is a pain in the butt. I mean, it's easy enough to do. It's just poles being tall is a pain in the butt. Pardon my bird laughing at me if you can hear him. But yes, this is the room that I'm talking about, making into yet another plant room, because it's very long, very narrow, and basically useless. I think at one point in time it was a porch. There's a door to the right of the camera. There's a door to the left of the camera. There's a doorway here that goes to my bedroom. There's a closet door back here. There's windows here. Putting furniture in here, there's like one spot on this wall beneath this, I don't know if you can see it or not, mini split, which I did not install correctly. No, it's installed correctly. It was not vacuum pumped correctly. Vacuum pressure, whatever it is you call that. Didn't do that right. So I need more Freon, or R131, whatever it is. Anyway, that's the only spot where you can really put things in this room, unless you're sticking them to the wall or hanging them from the ceiling. And I think I'm going to do all that. I think I am going to put some racks, like wall-mounted racks, just past the air conditioner / heater, you know, so that air's not blowing on them. Maybe on that wall, up high, I'll put some shelves. This wall here, it's got a heater mounted on it right now. I'm going to pull that off and probably put shelves there as well, which I'm a little iffy about because of the air blowing on them. And also, the Ripsalis that I just showed you is going to hang on that wall with another one of its friends. So, lots to do in here still. I still haven't put up trim. I've still got a piece of paneling I've got to put here. Is that the only place where I have paneling left? Still need trim around the windows and all that. It's a work in progress. Even more chaotic mess, but yeah, this Ficus, sorry, Shaveriana, it was still in its little nursery pot. Was drying really, really quick. So, and this one did come in from outside. It had a pretty good time in the greenhouse other than drying pretty quick. And I just didn't want to deal with that all winter. So we went from 4-inch straight to a 7-inch. And so far, so good. So far, it doesn't seem angry with me. I guess time will tell. Okay, I'm sure there's a ton more that I'm forgetting because I always forget stuff. But I think that might be the bulk of it. There's still a bunch of plants outside that I need to bring in, but I'm really trying to make some progress on that room because I don't like sitting plants in just random places around the house, like a place that's not going to be their spot, I guess is what I mean, like over top of my kitchen sink, on my dining room table, in the floor. I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of plants that are sitting in places that I know I'm going to have to move again. Plants that are out of place. That's not ideal to me. That drives me crazy. Things underfoot. So yeah, my whole house is a mess right now. It's like there's potting soil pretty much everywhere. I've been repotting up here. I've been repotting down in the kitchen. Like the larger plants that I know are going to live downstairs, I'm not dragging them up here to repot them up here to turn around and drag them back downstairs. I don't enjoy climbing the stairs on the best day. So, and especially not with a, 50-pound plant pot. So, but yeah, that's going to do it for me. If I make some progress on that room, I guess I will be back to show you that and maybe move some plants in there, which is very exciting to me, at least. I gotta wait for my husband to get home so I can pester him to take me to Lowe's. Alright, thank you for watching, thank you for hanging out with me, and come back and check me out again soon. Bye.